To keep things unbiased.
Okay, Golden Globes fans, the nominations came out today for the 2017 awards for TV and film. We're going to talk about film in this Slugfest. We have another Slugfest for TV, but we're here with Chris and Daniel and Zach. And Chris, we're going to start with you. You're in the top 24 for both, for film and for TV. How did you do it? Why did you do so good? Because we did all so bad.
I think I'm more like top 10, but that's okay. I don't know. Since I've been in California, this is my second cycle. I do, when I see a Golden Globe voter, which we see at a lot of these parties and receptions, I don't know if this helps me or not, but I'll walk over and I'll just, casually ask about, hey, what are you liking this year? And I think that helps a little bit. I also just try to overhear conversations and also take note a lot of times if we go to a reception or something, especially a luncheon, a screening, oh, wow, this one's packed with Golden Globe voters, or this one's packed with SAG voters, or, I kind of get a feel along those ways. So I think those things are helping me some, but certainly I missed on a few.
And let's run through some of these nominations. Daniel, do you have the list in front of you? What are the major, like the film drama and the film comedy?
Well, let's start with the film drama. Those 5 nominees are Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, Lion, Manchester by the Sea, and Moonlight. And you want to talk about those first, or do you want me to give you the nominees for musical or comedy?
Yeah, let's start with drama first, because there's some big snubs there, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like when you listen to the nominees get read out and the first nominee starts with an H, the first thing you notice is No Arrival and No Fences, which were both, I don't know if Arrival was in our predictions to get in, but it did very well at Critics' Choice. I thought it would get in. It did get in for Amy Adams and for its score, but that definitely underperformed. Fences underperformed. It got Denzel Washington for Best Actor and Viola for Supporting Actress, but it didn't get writing or picture either. So those were a couple of major ones. And of course, we didn't see Jackie here. That got snubbed everywhere except for Natalie Portman.
But Zach, they don't have a perfect track record with the Oscars, right? So if you're snubbed here, it doesn't mean you're completely out.
That's right. I mean, just looking at some of the last few years, last year, Bridge of Spies didn't make it into Best Picture at the Globes. It did at the Oscars.
We invited you today to get your honest opinion.
The year before that, it was American Sniper and Whiplash that missed out. The year before that, it was Dallas Buyers Club. So just because you don't impress the Hollywood foreign press doesn't mean that you're not going to impress the Academy voters. And we'll really see that next month with the Guild nominations and, well, Wednesday with SAG. But anyway, if your film is Sully, Arrival, Fences, Silence, don't feel bad. You've still got a chance in the Oscar race.
You feel a little bad, especially if you're Silence. Martin Scorsese has won 3 Golden Globes for Best Director. He has won the Cecil B. DeMille Award, and his film got 0 nominations. It seemed like, even if it wasn't gonna, even missing out on Best Picture is one thing, but no director, no actor for Andrew Garfield, although he did get in for Hacksaw Ridge, no supporting actor either for Liam Neeson or Adam Driver or Issei Ogata. It's just completely kind of no thank you on Silence, which really, really surprised me.
That was definitely the worst of it for me personally, but I'm not ready to take it out of my predictions just yet. For one thing, I mean, this is a movie that just now started screening. So like American Sniper 2 years ago, which got nothing at the Globes, and then ended up with a picture, actor, screenplay, 6 nominations in total and a win at the Oscars. So I'm not ready to count it out completely, but yeah, it is for the kind of film that it is, this big sweeping epic from a director who they've awarded 3 times, it is a surprising snub.
I think last week, Chris, I either told you or Ralph that Andrew Garfield was 100% getting in for Silence and not for Hacksaw Ridge. So I was very shocked that, first of all, that I was
What
wrong.
did I say when you told me that?
What's that?
What did I say when you told me that?
I think you said I was wrong.
Yeah. I said I preferred Hacksaw, and I thought he would get in for that.
Yeah, I preferred him in Silence, but he was fantastic in both. And this is a case where, I'm worried about the Oscars, about, could there be a vote split going on where he may not get either because people either like one or the other. And, you can't vote for both at the Oscars, so it's going to be really tough. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, he's never been nominated before, so I'm sure his people and even himself, even if he loves both of them equally, I mean, it's better for him actually if things start landing on one side or the other, because then the Oscar voters will probably follow. So if on Wednesday he gets in for Hacksaw, let's say, at SAG and not Silence, then that's probably better for him going forward.
Yeah, that would be his best scenario. It would be sort of the Jessica Chastain situation a few years ago when she had 50 films in contention, and then the Globe for Help and Critics' Choice for The Help, and so it's like, okay, she knows where her focus is all of a sudden. So actually, the worst thing for Andrew Garfield at SAG was for him to be nominated for Silence instead of Hacksaw Ridge, because that's just gonna divide his support even more. If he gets in for Hacksaw there, then I think all the voters in all awards groups going forward can look at him and say, like, okay, we liked both of these performances, but Hacksaw is where we need to go if we want to get him in.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's probably the likeliest scenario, because I'm certain that Silence probably isn't going to be a factor at the SAG Awards, just because they probably haven't seen it. And so if he's going to get nominated for anything, it's going to be for Hacksaw Ridge. And then that's just where he's going to set his Oscar sights on.
Daniel, do you want to run down the list of who is nominated for actor and actress?
Yes, for Best Actress in Drama, that's Amy Adams in Arrival, Jessica Chastain, Miss Sloane, Isabelle Huppert for Elle, Ruth Negga for Loving, and Natalie Portman for Jackie. And then for Best Actor, you've got Casey Affleck, Manchester by the Sea, Joel Edgerton, Loving, Andrew Garfield, who we mentioned, Hacksaw Ridge, Viggo Mortensen, Captain Fantastic, and Denzel Washington in Fences.
And you could already make your predictions at Gold Derby, and I've gone in and made mine. I'm going with Natalie Portman for actress. I think that's, I don't want to say a lock. It's always hard to say that something is a lock, but it's as close to a lock as you can be. Do you guys agree?
I think the only competition she probably has is Isabelle Huppert, who's been winning all the Critics Awards and who is foreign, i.e. Hollywood foreign press.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I think this is probably Natalie Portman's to lose. She did just win the Critics' Choice Award last night, so that helps give her a little bit of an extra boost. But yeah, I think that's probably, she's the front runner here.
Yeah, Jackie underperformed in general, but I think she'd be in bigger trouble if there were another contender in this category whose film did a lot better. And we saw Amy Adams' Arrival underperformed. Jessica Chastain's the only nominee for Miss Sloane. Loving just has the 2 lead acting nominations, I believe, and Isabelle Huppert. Elle just has the other foreign language film nominees. So there's not like a lot of support materializing around the other candidates. So I think it might. I think that definitely helps keep Natalie Portman in the frontrunner slot there.
And Chris, who's winning actor? Is it Denzel or is it Casey?
I don't know.
I think it's Casey.
I will probably switch back and forth on that one a good bit. I think it's that battle, those 2 people, all the way to the Oscar night. The one interesting thing will be when you get to SAG, Denzel's never won a SAG award. So we might have a situation like Leo last year where, where they want to rectify that wrong. Casey doesn't help himself when he gets up to make a speech. I mean, last night, he's just so scatterbrained and boring. It's, Denzel would have been fun on stage. So
I remember Casey at the Hollywood Film Awards too. He was very rambly and
he was just introducing Kenneth Lonergan too. It wasn't like he couldn't be prepared. He should have been more prepared. And backing up to actors for just a second, I think I've been thinking all along the way it was going to be Natalie Emma at the Globes, setting up that battle for the Oscars as well and at SAG Awards. But I mean, oftentimes at Globes on TV or film, if you're stuck in a category and you can't make up your mind, you look to find somebody in that category that's also up for the best film or best TV series.
The Amy Poehler rule.
Yeah, it really, really does help. And 4 out of the 5 ladies here are not up for Best Picture. I mean, Isabel is sort of with foreign language. So, that one does make that a little bit more difficult. I don't think Jessica or Ruth could win that. Amy Adams just won 2 in a row, not last year, but the 2 years prior. So I don't think she's going to win. So Natalie makes a lot of sense there. Andrew Garfield, don't sleep on him. Let's say Zach's right and they just haven't seen Silence yet. Enough of them haven't. They may go in thinking, well, you know what? I really like Silence. He gave 2 great performances here. I'm going to vote for him. Could happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that, it seems like a 2-person race, between Affleck and Washington, with maybe Garfield to spoil here. But I'm getting a sense of inevitability around Casey Affleck because Manchester has been performing so well overall, and because he's the guy to reward for that. I think it's going to come down to him in the screenplay in terms of what it'll win at the Oscars. And Fences, of course, underperformed here at the Golden Globe. So I have a feeling now that it's going to be, it's going to look like it's suspenseful, and then Casey is going to keep winning.
Well, let's speed things along here for the best La La Land category. We have La La Land, 20th Century Women, Deadpool, Florence Foster Jenkins, or Sing Street. Zach, what's going to win best La La Land here?
I guess La La Land is going to win best La La Land. Was there anything in here you guys were surprised didn't get in for best comedy or musical? It was sort of a weakish year.
Not once things started settling down. Rules Don't Apply seemed like it was going to get in when we first screened it, and then it's been underperforming everywhere. The Lobster, I thought they might latch onto that, and they did with Colin Farrell. I'm wondering, maybe somebody can do a little research. I'm wondering what film has won the most Golden Globes ever in a single year, because this movie is going to take comedy, actor, and actress.
Right.
And it could take director, it could take screenplay, it will take score, and it might take song.
So you think it's going to win every single thing it's nominated?
No, I said it could.
No, I mean, but it's scenario is it
it's either in first or second position in all those categories.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ironic.
They do like to spread the wealth at the Globe, so that's why I wonder, as they start marking those comedy, it's not like Oscars last year with Mad Max where they just did a straight ticket. I think they like to spread the wealth, so I could see them going another direction, say for director and screenplay, especially.
Yeah,
and I think score is going to be obvious, but I think they might. There's enough really famous, talented people in song that they might go a different direction in song as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think screenplay is the likeliest one to lose for La La Land, because it's it did win at the Critics' Choice Awards, but I don't think it's really thought of as a writer's film as much as it is a director or musician's film. So I think they'll probably use that as an opportunity to go with either Moonlight or Manchester. Best song is interesting because it kind of they didn't pick the song I expected. They picked City of Stars instead of Audition. I thought both would get in. But without 2 songs in there, maybe that even helps it. It won't split its own vote there.
I agree. When you said spread the wealth, Chris, my first thought was, well, maybe Ryan Gosling is not a lock. Maybe, if they give it picture and director and actress, maybe they're going to be like, this seems like Ryan Reynolds' year for Deadpool. Or
he got on the stage more than anybody last night.
Yeah, the Critics' Choice, he was.
Why would you give somebody, and this happened twice, somebody that's pretty much a safe bet to win, Ryan Reynolds, Viola Davis, why would you give them a special award as well? Why wouldn't you pick out somebody that probably is not going to hit the stage that night? Because you kind of know.
My issue was the Viola speeches were practically back to back. So the producers should have pushed, one of them toward the beginning of the show, one of her speeches, and one of her speeches toward the end of the show. I think that would have helped.
It's a critics.
Yeah, but you could. I mean, they've had all kinds of honorary kind of awards there. Everything from the Genius Award to the I don't even remember what all they've had. But they just why would they want to honor people that are going to be getting up on stage anyway?
Yeah,
it's the critics' choices for you.
Well, they've been making a lot of weird decisions lately. I could see Ryan, especially now that Deadpool got in. Ryan Reynolds, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
What about Hugh Grant with
It's possible.
The big Florence Foster Jenkins nominations? 4 in total, including Simon Helberg. Who saw that coming?
Nobody saw that coming. That was the big shocker in our forums at Gold Derby. It was Simon Helberg got in. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Everyone was very shocked, but pleasantly shocked, not like WTF shocked, like yay kind of shocked.
Well, he was helped a lot. I mean, the Globes. Hugh Grant is actually supporting everywhere but the Globes. They have their their committee that decides drama and comedy and lead and supporting. And we got word like 3 weeks ago that they had decided he was lead. So Simon Helberg got helped a lot by him moving.
Mm-hmm. And I'll warn Ryan Gosling, if you're sitting there at the La La Land table and they open the envelope and they say the winner is Ryan, don't stand up. Wait for the last name. It could be Reynolds. But last year I was on this whole Amy Schumer could be Jennifer Lawrence thing. So what do I know?
I think Ryan shouldn't feel 100% confident, but with La La Land leading the nominations and the frontrunner to win in the Best Picture award, he could just get swept along with that. And has he ever won a Globe before? I can't remember off the top of my head. Reynolds
and Gosling, neither one of them has.
Oh, okay. Well,
if I was presenting that award, whoever does that, whatever lady does that, you've got to have some fun with it. Just open the envelope and say, Ryan, who's got a little money they want to contribute here to hear the rest of this.
Watch it be a tie between Ryan and Ryan.
And for the 2 supportings, I have a feeling we're going to see the same winners at every award show. We saw last night Mahershala Ali and Viola Davis. They're both nominated for the Globes. They're going to be nominated for SAG. They're probably going to win, everything, right, Daniel?
Every year there's 2 or 3 acting awards that just kind of move all the way through the season. I think that's the 2. I think we're going to have a real battle on our hands in lead for both at the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It looks like, these feel maybe not quite as certain, but it feels kind of like the year that, Monique and Christoph Waltz were just, every single event, they were the 2. So it feels like it's going to be kind of the same way with Viola and Mahershala. I feel like, as I mentioned earlier, I feel like that's going to start to materialize around Casey Affleck for Best Actor. And I think the one to watch for is going to be Best Actress, because given how much they loved La La Land at Critics' Choice, the fact that they went with Natalie instead of Emma Stone is really kind of should be worrisome to Emma as we go throughout the rest of the season. Of course, Emma's got a clear path for this one because of separate comedy and musical categories. But I think that's going to be the one to watch. But yeah, I think we've got Mahershala looks pretty solid in this category. Especially because Lucas Hedges, who could have been a potential kind of Timothy Hutton kind of young actor to come in, he wasn't even nominated here this year. And Viola Davis looks stronger and stronger. So it's probably those 2.
Yeah, I was shocked that Lucas Hedges didn't get in, especially considering that they obviously loved Manchester by the Sea. Was there any other actor that you guys were stunned didn't make it in or made it in?
Michael Shannon, I wouldn't say I was stunned, but I kind of expected him to get in, especially over Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Hidden Figures would do better, and Kevin Costner, I was hoping.
I forgot.
Any of the Silence guys, they might have canceled each other out. Ben Foster's been making a big run, with award nominations. So, and they obviously like that movie a lot. So,
well, I think he could probably still show up on Wednesday morning with SAG.
That's right. This is not a final. This is just kind of just another gauge for us to use. On supporting actress, Greta Gerwig doesn't make it. Octavia, I mean, that's the only thing they liked in that whole movie, Octavia Spencer.
And the music.
And the music. Because Janelle Monáe was great, and Taraji was great, and Kevin was great.
I would swap Janelle for Octavia in my dream predictions.
Molly Shannon is probably going to win at Independent Spirit. So anyway, that was a few I wrote down.
Let's not forget Tom Hanks in Sully.
Yeah.
Sully across the board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a single thing for Sully. I was actually predicting the Tom Hanks snub. I actually sort of, I thought I was going to get a little bit of bragging rights. I thought they might pull like a Meryl Streep the way they nominated her twice for, I thought they were going to do that to Andrew Garfield. I thought we'd see him in Hacksaw and in Silence. But at least I got one of them.
And how does Nocturnal Animals get screenplay, director, actress, supporting actor, but not best film? Can someone explain that to me?
Well, not actress, just a supporting actor.
Remember, Amy got in for Arrival.
Okay, that's right. But how I mean, best, you have director and screenplay, so.
It's kind of surprising she got in for Arrival and not Nocturnal Animals when you see how much they loved Nocturnal Animals. I don't know. Maybe it was just like that 6th place nominee for them. You know? Like that seems like it's not the first time that they've nominated a movie for directing and not for picture. But it is pretty odd that since they obviously loved it.
Especially when you consider that Lion got into Best Picture, but it's not up for writing or directing. So, you know, it's kind of a strange disconnect there.
Mm-hmm. But Dev Patel is nominated, and so is Nicole. So,
Well, does anyone have any final thoughts before we sign off? Go make your predictions at Gold Derby. Try to beat us. Chris did really well. He's in, I think, the top 200, right, Chris? So see if you can take him down.
One thing I